GCSE Chemistry. Welcome. Are you excited for a fun learning session? Make sure you have your book and a pen before we start. Energy changes in reactions. Reactions happen when reactant particles collide with each other with sufficient energy. The activation energy is the minimum amount of energy needed by colliding particles for a reaction to happen. Activation energy can be modeled in a reaction profile by drawing a rise between the reactants and products lines. The activation energy is shown in blue and the overall energy change is shown in red. Activation energy can be modeled in a reaction profile by drawing a rise between the reactants and products lines. The activation energy is shown in blue and the overall energy change is shown in red. When a chemical reaction takes place, bonds in the reactants are broken and new bonds are formed in the products. When bonds are broken, energy is transferred to the reactants from the surroundings and used to break their bonds, meaning that breaking bonds is endothermic. When bonds are made, energy is released and so is transferred to the surroundings as the bonds are made, meaning that making bonds is exothermic. Exothermic reactions are reactions where more energy is released as bonds are made in the products than is needed to break the bonds in the reactants. Endothermic reactions are reactions where more energy is needed to break the bonds in the reactants than is released when bonds are formed in the products. The bond energy of any given covalent bond is the amount of energy that is required to break 1 mole of that particular bond. Bond energy is measured in kilojoules per mole. When calculating bond energies, you must find how many of each type of bond you are making and breaking. Remember that you are breaking bonds in the reactants and making them in the products. Energy change is equal to the energy in. This is the bonds broken minus the energy out. This is the bonds made. Ethane burns in oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. Calculate the energy change in this reaction. First, write the equation and draw the molecules. First, work out how many bonds you are breaking in each ethane molecule. There are 6 carbon-hydrogen bonds and a bond between the 2 carbon atoms. This means there are 12 carbon-hydrogen bonds in total. There is 1 carbon-carbon-carbon bond in each ethane, and as there are 2 ethane molecules, there are 2 carbon-carbon bonds in total. There are also 7 oxygen-oxygen double bonds that need to be broken. Next, work out how many bonds are made. 4 carbon dioxide molecules are made and each carbon dioxide molecules has 2 carbon to oxygen bonds. 6 water molecules are also made. Each water molecules has 2 hydrogen-oxygen bonds. This gives 12 hydrogen-oxygen bonds in total. Once the total amount of energy in and out has been calculated, find the total energy change using the equation. Energy change is equal to the energy in minus the energy out. If the answer is a negative number, this shows that the reaction is exothermic. If the answer is a positive number, this shows that the answer is endothermic.